Hello, my name's Chris Cowan. I'm with Mining Journal. I'm here with James Withall from Rupert Resources. James, if you could start by just giving us a brief overview of Rupert Resources and the assets and listing, etc., to give investors some context.
Rupert Resources is a Canadian listed company. Its focus is exploration in northern Finland, and the main project they're working on is the Paatavaara project. Northern Finland is a very prospective part of the world for exploration, and it's been demonstrated that through work for ourselves, others, and some of the other companies now entering the region.
Paatavaara is the flagship asset at the moment?
Yeah, so the main project of the company is the Paatavaara project.
Okay.
That's a mine and mill that's on care and maintenance, and a very large exploration package in the central Lapland Greenstone Belt.
Okay, and that closed in 2014. Why did it close?
So the asset was discovered back in the late 80s by the government, and it had a series of different owners who, I guess, with a lot of junior companies, they struggled with the mine. They didn't really do enough understanding of the geological model of the deposit, and so every time the gold price fell, they got into a bit of trouble. We saw a lot more opportunity to re-understand the geology and make a lot more sustainable operation in the future.
Okay, so from my understanding, that reinterpretation of the geology both at Paatavaara and then the regional package you have, which is in a broader belt, that's core to the underlying value of the company. Can you give us an idea of what the interpretation was and now what it looks like for you, and why that makes it different?
Okay, well, Finland, first of all, is a great country to explore in, but it's because the government provides you with a lot of information. Okay. Layer on that the $40 or $50 million of exploration that the previous company did, which is assets that we've been able to interpret. The issue we had was there wasn't a lot of sort of commercial interpretation of geology. There was very academic geological view of the region, and the work we've been doing is to really understand the structures of it. Paatavaara is a structurally controlled gold deposit. 3 episodes of deformation. It's quite complex, but all gold belts are relatively complex. So it was a case of really getting an understanding of that structure, which the mine allowed us to do, and applying that across the belt. And that has led us through geophysics, an interpretation of that geophysics, to develop a number, up to 20 new targets across our license package.
Okay, and I think you've spoken previously about the backing of the company and the style of the exploration program, describing it more as a large company exploration program. What do you mean by that?
Well, we have very strong backers in this company. We've managed to raise nearly $20 million in the last 2 years, and they have a very long-term view about supporting the company. They are a mix of ultra-high net worth individuals who share the vision that we do of the potential for the region. That has allowed us to invest quite heavily in exploration, and we feel that that's incredibly important because you actually need to spend the money to do the work to move it on. So we are exploring over very large belts of ground and only really focusing on what could become very large deposits. Effectively, we said in a previous interview about sort of $2 billion worth of NSR value being the lower cutoff of what we're looking for.
Okay, and you are in the middle of an exploration program. Give us an idea of how it's looking. How many targets have you got, and what are the milestones that investors should be looking out for over the next 6 to 12 months?
So over the last 18 months, it's been very much the science side of it, geophysics, geochemistry. Since September this year, we rolled out a 15,000 metre exploration program, and alongside a 7,000 metre program at the mine itself, we have already announced our first discovery at an area called Heine Central, which is a copper gold discovery. We have, as I said, 20 targets in the list that we continuously re-rank, and we're focused on about half a dozen of those. So we currently have 3 rigs running, 1 at the mine and 2 on different exploration targets, and that program will continue over the next 6 to 9 months, and we'll be continuously putting out news flow on those targets as we drill through them. Okay,
and Paatavaara itself has the makings of an operation on its own, in its own right, to restart that operation. If we consider that as the base case, what would the base case, and then what would the best case scenario look like with exploration success in the region?
We look at it 3 different scenarios. This 12-month program that we're working through till next June is an incredibly important time for the company. We see good opportunity at the mine, and we put out some news release on that just at the beginning of this week with the high-grade intercepts at the mine itself. We see that we can continue to build the confidence in those resources and then deliver, an economic model on that into next year. That is certainly a base case for the business. However, we've already started making new discoveries beyond the mine. So whether Part of Ara becomes a central processing hub in the future, with a start of its own operations, and then some other satellites that we discover. And then there's another scenario where we've already made this discovery of a new, potentially significantly larger copper gold discovery, which may well be developed in its own right or use the infrastructure of Part of Ara. Yeah.
James, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.